I don't say it's only the scientific work that is actually really nice in Bialystok. It's as well like the small community that we're living in and the English division that we can actually really appreciate, that we have different sports clubs, activities done, for example, in anatomy where we can do outside school.
My plans are to go and work in Sweden for a year, and later on I'll continue doing my residency in the UK. And I would like to do neonatology, so I'm going to pursue my dream of becoming a neonatologist.
It's also very cool that this university is in a palace, a very historical place. The entire medical campus is placed very closely to each other, so it's very simple to just get around by bike.
It has been 6 great and very hard years for him.
Bialystok was probably a great place for him to study. Very proud. Yeah. He's doctor today, so that's amazing.
The city of Novi Sad is located in the lush fertile flatlands in the north of Serbia along the Danube River. Opposite to the Fruška Gora mountain and national park, the city is situated on both banks of the Danube. Located opposite to the scenic Petrovaradin fortress, Novi Sad is the capital of Vojvodina province and the second largest city in Serbia. Its abundant cultural heritage and present status offer rich content of various cultural manifestations throughout the year and place Novi Sad on its rightful place at the center of cultural map of Serbia. The city of Novi Sad, one of the most beautiful in the region, is a university center which comprises 14 faculties, 2 institutes, 8 university centers, Association of Centers for Interdisciplinary and Multidisciplinary Studies and Research, ASIMSI, 10 centers, and faculty research centers, which offers a variety of educational opportunities for students, lifelong continuing education, research and advancement. The University of Novi Sad was founded in 1960 and today is the second largest among 6 state universities in Serbia, with its main university campus covering an area of 259,807 square meters. The main campus is located along the picturesque Danube embankments with a stunning view of the Petrovaradin fortress, making this a perfect place for contemplation and development of vibrant young minds. Faculty of Medicine of the University of Novi Sad, a modern education and biomedical research center, was founded 56 years ago. The Faculty of Medicine is located outside university campus, but nearby the affiliated teaching hospitals where students complete clinical training. Its modern system supports all administrative students' needs during their studies: modern counter hall, bookshop, offices for various study levels, free internet access, student portal, the use of laptop computers and electronic communication. Students took part in the first aid competition, showing their practical skills, whereas the best students, teachers and researchers were awarded for their hard work, excellence and skills in order to continue their activities in health promotion in our community. Clinical Center of Vojvodina, with its clinics, centers, institutes, outpatient clinic and emergency center, is a highly specialized health institution of the highest rank and also the largest teaching hospital of the Faculty of Medicine, Novi Sad. The Institute for Health Protection of Children and Youth of Vojvodina is a health, scientific and educational institution that provides healthcare for children and young people under the age of 18. The Institute is a teaching hospital of the Faculty of Medicine Novi Sad, which employs teachers and associates from different departments of the Faculty of Medicine. The popular Children's Hospital is an outstanding institution which implements the most complex medical procedures. Institutes for cardiovascular diseases, lung diseases and oncology are located in Sremska Kamenica, and they are also teaching hospitals of the Faculty of Medicine, Novi Sad. They provide practical knowledge and skills for our students, interns, professors and other employees for the medical, educational and scientific activities. Dental Clinic of Vojvodina is a teaching hospital of the Faculty of Medicine. It is a health institution that provides highly specialized specialist consulting and inpatient healthcare in dentistry, implemented as a tertiary healthcare, education and scientific research. Welcome to the Faculty of Medicine, Novi Sad. You have made the right choice for your professional and continuous education as well as research. We wish you the best results during your studies in the future. We will try our best to provide you with knowledge on the basis of the tradition of our faculty and modern techniques, methods and principles of teaching for noble professions you have chosen. To you and our patients, knowledge for health. Teachers and employees of the Faculty of Medicine, Novi Sad.
Tbilisi Medical Academy, TMA, is situated in the heart of the capital of Georgia, preparing students to serve their communities all around the world. Georgia is the fourth safest country in the world and the safest country in Europe, with a unique multicultural society, picturesque nature, and ancient history. TMA offers various programs recognized by the World Federation of Medical Education, WFME, that enable its students to continue their studies and or get employed anywhere in the world. TMA ascribes special importance to competence and professionalism. With theoretical knowledge and practical experience, students will be introduced to important values and key concepts relevant to medical practice. Competence-based medical education, CBME, is a key feature of our curriculum, which implies that the learning outcomes of the curriculum are formulated in such a way that the students are exposed to theoretical knowledge, practical skills implementation, and important medical values. Our students gain practical experience in 30 leading clinics in Georgia. Representatives of our partner universities are intensively involved in the development and modernization of educational programs, introducing modern teaching, learning and assessment techniques such the Academy creates a quality-oriented, modern and equal learning environment where students gain practical experience along with theoretical knowledge, etc. The Academy has established the Student Curriculum Committee with a purpose to support and nurture students as necessary. The Academy offers students a variety of exchange programs at European universities, in conjunction with relevant clinical rotations, clerkships at various hospitals around the world. Tbilisi Medical Academy graduates successfully pass the license exams established in their home country and find employment. Medicine has no borders, neither do we. Our students are ready to save lives and serve their communities all around the world.
Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to this evening's webinar brought to you by ourselves, Medlink Students. We want to thank each and every one of you for coming here this evening, and we hope that over the next couple of hours we can give you a fantastic insight into studying medicine and dentistry abroad. Now, we understand that a lot of you have just had your A-level results. We've been very busy trying to contact as many of you as we can and help as many of you as we can with this. And again, we hope that this evening we'll be able to give you some really clear ideas on what is still available for you. So don't give up hope, regardless of whether you got your target grades just below or just above. We've got options available for everyone, and we're here to do our best to help you. So speaking about our team this evening, you've obviously got myself. I'm Tom, a senior advisor here at Medlink Students. My colleague Edmund and Dana will be joining as well, again advisors. And we're also going to have a senior admissions expert, Daniela, who's going to join us and go over some of the details in what it takes to apply to many of these medical schools. Now, in regards to the webinar itself, we are going to have an ebook available. So if you want to, you are able to scan the ebook, and in doing that you'll be able to get access to all of the information that we'll be presenting. I'll leave this up for a few seconds now, so if anyone wants to go ahead and scan that, they're able to. We will be presenting this again later on in the webinar, so don't worry too much about it, but if you want to save a little bit of the information now, you can. Bear in mind as well, we are going to have a lot of guest speakers from universities and also a bunch of students that decided, whether it was last year or many years ago, to take that leap and go and study abroad. So they're going to be sharing their insight with you as well. So just to go over a bit more detail in what we're going to cover today, the initial thing that we're going to do is answer the question, who is Medlink Students? It's something that we get asked a lot, and of course we do want to go through that with all of you and give you a fantastic idea into what we are as an organization and why we do what we do. We're then going to go into some of the benefits of studying abroad, and then we're going to talk about some of the most popular universities, particularly from last year's admission, but also from what we can see trending so far for this September-October intake. Going on from there, we're then obviously going to be covering some universities with the students and talking with them about that, going through the admissions process, how we can help you as an organization, and then of course we're going to be answering a bunch of your questions live on our Q&A section. So going back to that original question, who is Medlink Students? I can't think of anyone better to answer this than my colleague Edmund. So over to you, Edmund.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here with us tonight. It's really a pleasure to have you join us. Now, our story is really quite a journey. Now, our brave doctors and dentists, they were once students, themselves just like you. And they faced challenges in trying to get into spot into medical and dental schools. Now, despite having the right grades, which a lot of you have, encountering the rejections, they decided to explore options outside the UK. We know it's not an easy thought, just trying to look outside of your support system. Now, picture them spending countless of hours diving into research about the suitable schools to go to, comparable choices, comparing them, dealing with those confusing entry requirements and deadlines, and grappling with the whole application process. Now, these struggles became the foundation of our mission. And you see, we've been through it all, and figuring out the applications, preparing the entrance tests, if needed, stepping into a new country, making friends. We understand how overwhelming this entire journey can be. And that's exactly why we're here. We're ready to help you at every twist and turn. Now, let me introduce you to our exceptional team, which is made up of doctors and dentists who have walked the same path studying abroad. And then there's me. I'm one of the student advisors here. You've also seen my colleague Tom, my colleague Dana will be joining us as well. We're here to delve into your unique situation and preferences. We craft a personalized plan, and we really pave the way for your informed decision, because as I mentioned, this is not an easy decision to make. Now, let's talk about our support network, which is on ground. Now, imagine moving to a new country for your education. There's a lot to handle, right? So our on-ground team are here to support you, and you're never going to be alone. They'll help you settle in. They'll help you find the right place to stay, and address any concerns or immediate needs that might pop up, making your transition quite smoother. Now, of course, we can't forget about our admissions team. Now, they are the ones that ensure that your application has everything that's needed for submission. And they will hold your hand every step of the way, making sure that nothing goes amiss. And here's the magic. By pulling in the wisdom of our doctors, dentists, advisors, admissions team, and our support team, we've got your back throughout the entire journey. So from the first step to the last step, we're here to provide you with all the extensive information that you need to make an informed decision about your future. Back to you, Tom.
Wonderful, fantastic. Thank you for giving everyone that insight. What a perfect way to start off the evening, to learn a little bit about who are these people that you're listening to this evening. What are we all about? What are we doing? So that's a little bit of info. Again, we're going to go into this in more depth later on in the presentation. So we will be going through the ins and outs of how it is that you can apply abroad and how we sort of fit into it all as our doctor and dentist-led organization. First of all, something that's quite exciting is talking about some of the benefits of studying abroad. Now, we understand for a lot of you it can seem really daunting at first, so we want to go through a few of these benefits that we've seen over the years from the thousands of students that we've worked with. And I'd like to bring over my colleague Dana, who's going to go through a few of these key details with you. Over to you, Dana.
Thank you, Tom. Wow, what a day. It's so nice to see how many students have joined us today, how many students are so passionate to learn more about their opportunities to study in Europe. So welcome, everyone, and it's so nice to have you here. And today I will tell you a little bit more about the benefits of studying in Europe. After speaking to so many students, I get to know that each student likes specific things about going abroad. And from the main things that students love is the affordable tuition fees, where we have students that have a specific budget, and the tuition fees in Europe are very affordable. We have universities with very reasonable fees. They range up from 5,000 up to 20,000 pounds. So you can study in Europe without having any financial burdens on you. In addition to the good quality of education you find there in the universities, with the diverse environment that you get to experience. So you get to meet people from many different countries. And another advantage is the flexible admission requirements, where some universities require sciences, some universities don't require sciences, in addition to the entrance exams. Some universities require an entrance exam, some have an interview. So it depends on the university that you decide to study in and you qualify for. We will advise you what's best. The courses are fully taught in English, which is great. A lot of students are concerned about that. They say, if I go to Europe, do I have to learn a new language and spend years doing that? Well, no, because the courses are fully taught in English and the degree is globally recognized. You get to study medicine and go back to your home country or work anywhere you're interested in. So you can go back to the UK, USA, Australia, wherever you're from. The university that we help you and guide you apply for would be recognized there. And of course, the variety of options and universities. A lot of students say, how many applications can I apply for, or how many universities? Well, in Europe, you can apply to as many universities as you want. However, we will guide you with the process, so there's no need for you to apply to 10 or 20 universities. You just apply to 1 or 2 universities with us and we get you accepted. And lastly, the modern facilities. You get to study medicine at universities that have very advanced facilities and well-equipped labs. So I can guarantee to you that you're going to love your experience in Europe. And as Tom said, a lot of students have got their A-levels. We've been speaking to so many students, and I see a lot of you guys are excited to start your journey in Europe. So here are some of the benefits, and we'll be seeing more benefits throughout the webinar with students who will be joining. I'll hand it over to Tom.
Thank you very much, Dana. Yes, you're absolutely right. This is something that we love to ask students that have come on here, because they were once in your position. They were wondering if studying abroad is right for them. They had concerns and worries, and being able to share on this platform with all of you watching today is what makes it all worth it for us, because these students have now come such a long way. They're in a position where they're studying abroad, or some of them are actually doctors that have joined us today that have actually made that success and registered back where they're looking to go, whether it's the UK or abroad. So yeah, they're going to be sharing some of their top benefits as well, and we really look forward to hearing those from them shortly. So we've spoken a little bit about abroad, so let's go back to what the situation is in the UK. We understand that a lot of you joining today are from the UK. We want to talk a little bit about the system, our understanding of it, so you've got an idea of what the sort of difference is and why so many people are looking to apply abroad now, why it's becoming such a normal thing. Edmund, I'm going to pass this over to you to talk through some of the details.
Thank you, Tom. Applying to medical schools from the UK and other countries has become a significant challenge. And a lot of the students are competing for limited spaces, and then the number of applicants keeps growing and the available seats are staying the same. And this leaves deserving students really without any opportunities. Now, why is this? Well, more and more students have become more inspired than ever to pursue medicine, but the schools just can't accommodate everyone. And this leads to an intense competition among all the applicants. So it makes it hard for qualified students to really get in. We've seen a lot of the students that actually yesterday were predicted very high grades and fortunately didn't get the right grades, so they can't get into their desired school in the UK. Now, the UK is actually now embracing more EU international graduates. And the NHS has a crisis that has a shortage of over 50,000 doctors, which is lower than the EU average. And to address this, the UK is always actively hiring foreign trained doctors. And we understand how students may worry about, going abroad and coming back to use the degree in the UK. Now, rest assured, this concern shouldn't trouble you at all, because similar countries exist like this, where they have their students going abroad and actually coming back to contribute in the home healthcare system. And the UK follows the same trend. Now, in fact, in 2021, over 10,000 international medical graduates joined the UK medical workforce, which basically surpassed the combined number of UK and EU graduates. Now, really, this highlights the strong demand for doctors in the UK and the healthcare system willingness to employ foreign medical graduates. Now, the UK really values graduates' contributions, and really they are always actively seeking to fill the gaps within the workforce. And as you guys can see, the UK's shortage of doctors is very crucial. We've seen a lot this year. There's been strikes, and the junior doctors are feeling very, very overwhelmed and overworked, and a lot of pressure. And really looking at that, a lot of students really want to get the opportunity to go abroad now and study. But the UK here, as we see, they're not given the opportunity. So if you're really aiming to work or practice as a doctor in the UK, be assured that your skills are greatly needed. Now, if you take a look at the compelling statistics on the display, you'll see that there are a number of registered doctors based on their primary medical qualification, based on countries. Now, a striking trend that you'll see, which is the significant rise of non-EU graduates in the recent times. This number really paints the right picture in the UK. In other countries that are warmly welcome IMGs, international medical graduates, and valuing their contributions to the healthcare. Now, the increasing presence of the non-EU or the non-UK graduates highlights that how these nations are eager to incorporate diverse talent into the medical teams. Now, this data really confirms the wealth of opportunities waiting for aspiring doctors just like you. And really, it emphasizes the significance of your qualification and the positive influence that you can have as part of the ever expanding community. Now, across multiple European schools, we get asked, what is the medical education like in Europe? Now, when you study abroad, in Europe specifically, Doctor of Medicine, which is the degree that you earn, is taught in English, and it expands over 6 years. Now, the first 3 years typically involves the pre-clinical education, which you get to do some labs, some clinical skills, you get to do some hands-on experience. And then the final 3 years, which are the fun years, the students call it, this is the practical training, which you actually have a clinical environment where you get to treat patients, you get to see patients, interact with them, have different specialties, have different scenarios, and really enjoy what it's like to actually become a real doctor. Now, as always, we do our due diligence very well. So the MD degrees carry an international recognition in most countries like the UK, Australia, Canada, the US, and many others as well. Now, for dentistry, much like the MD program, it's taught in English. And then you graduate there either as a doctor of dental surgery or you graduate as a doctor of dental medicine. They follow the same path as the medicine, which you can either study for 5 years or you can study for 6 years. When you study for 6 years, the first 3 years are your preclinical years. So this is where you get to learn the basic skills, a hands-on experience using phantom heads. And the brilliant thing about the dental schools as well is the smaller class sizes, which allows the students to really get involved with whatever might be happening. And the final 3 years of the course is the clinical years. This is where you get to learn more about really the specialties to do with dental medicine or dental surgery. Now, of course, all of these degrees we have researched quite well. The European ones also meet international standards, and it allows the graduates to come back to the UK, register with the General Dental Council, or you can go to other countries to also practice. Now, for the students that want to do graduate entry, of course, this is something we've been looking into quite extensively. For medicine, you're able to do the standalone 4-year program, which is a compressed course, which allows you to do the first 2 years of your preclinical, and then the final 2 years of your clinical years. We have some exciting options that we'll be going through with you as well. For dentistry, this works as a transfer of credits. So a transfer of credits is the university looking at your previously studied degree, which has to be science related. They transfer the credits into the course, allowing you to study for as low as 4 years. Now, of course, this is subject to assessing your transcript. And this is something we can look at on a one-to-one basis and a case-by-case as well. Now, another question that we get asked is, well, what are the tuition fees? And we also have a service where students can transfer from one school to another. And to tell you about the living costs, the tuition fees, the transfers, I'd like to invite my colleague, Dana, to expand a bit more on this. Dana?
Yeah, so another service, as Edmund has mentioned, is transfers. This is a service that we offer for students who have went to a university and found out that it's not the suitable environment for them, and they want to transfer out. Now, majority of the students today that we have here are looking to apply for October 2023 as a first year entry. However, there are some students that approach us and ask us for help to change universities because they're not happy where they are. When they were doing the research, they didn't have a lot of knowledge about Europe and the opportunities out there. So they chose a university and found out they're not happy there. So in case you're one of these students, it is possible to transfer, and it is a service that we offer. Bear in mind that transfers are a case-by-case assessment. So one of our expert advisors will speak to you and we will look at the transcripts you have. We will guide you and advise you which university would be best for you to transfer to according to your transcripts. So you can get in touch with us and we can help you. Also, another common question we get from students is, what are the budgets that I have to consider? What are the living expenses and what are the tuition fees per year? So a common question I get regarding this topic is, does it mean if I go to a more expensive university and higher tuition fees, I'll get higher quality of education? The answer here is no. Tuition fees are more related to the geographical location of the country, the economical situation of the country. So every country has its top universities, and whatever the tuition fees are, we can still help you find the university that has affordable tuition fees according to the budget you have and top quality of education. And as you can see on the other side of the screen, you can see the examples of the tuition fees of each country and the living expenses in each country. So if your dream is to become a doctor, feel free to book a call with us so we can find something within your budget so you can focus on your studies, have a great experience without worrying about expenses, without having any financial burdens on your family. We will be able to help you find something suitable to what you can afford and a suitable environment in general, so you can have a comfortable living experience without having to worry about the expenses or the accommodation. So feel free to get in touch with us so we can help you find something suitable for you. Back to you, Tom.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Dana, for going over some of the fees and the living cost. Bear in mind, these are averages, so some people will spend a lot less and some a lot more when it comes to the living cost. There is a real variation. Always, if you book in a call with us, we're happy to discuss absolutely everything with you with regards to these schools. One thing to bear in mind is the cost does not equal the quality. Some of these courses can be just as good as others. It's more just based on the location. If you're going to a more expensive country, like you can see right at the bottom there, Germany, it's a very high level economy country, and so in turn the tuition fees, the living costs, everything is going to cost you a lot more for a very similar course to the rest of them. So I just want to, for those of you out there that are thinking, oh, I'm going to only be able to get into some cheap university, it's not the case. All of these schools are held in very high regard. Some of the lower cost ones are actually a lot more competitive and a lot more desirable as well. So speaking of applying, we're now going to speak with one of our colleagues in the admissions department, one of our senior admissions experts, Daniela, who's going to tell us a little bit about what it takes to apply to Europe and what the process is all about. Over to you, Daniela.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're ready to embark on a thrilling journey towards your academic dreams. My name is Daniela, and I'm thrilled to be part of the Medlink Students admissions team. Today, I'm here to share with you what are the exciting opportunities that the European countries have and how our team can assist you. First things first, let's talk about the requirement. The first important document for you to have is a high school diploma or the equivalent of the document in your own country's high school system. European universities are famous with their academic excellence, and as such, they usually require from their candidates to have a strong background in the basic science, such as biology, chemistry, physics, and maths. If you don't have these, rest assured, because there are enough universities that will accept you even without these. All you have to do is contact one of our expert advisors, and they will assist you with finding an university that suits your educational background. Some of the universities also require an English proficiency certificate for the non-native speaker, and this is just so the university can make sure that you'll be getting the most out of the educational program. That's not all. Our team will be here also to assist you with the entrance exam if the university has one. We will provide you with the provisional materials. The entrance exam can include multiple questions, open questions, or the combination between both. Our team will also help you with translating, certifying, and legalizing your documents. But that's not all. If the university has an interview, our team also offers interview preparation by providing you with the questions beforehand. This is how we make sure that you will just amaze the interviewers at the university. At Medlink Students, our objective is for the students to have a stress-free and smooth process as possible. At Medlink Students, we maintain constant communication with all the institutions that are involved in the application process. This is how our team is sure that you will be accepted in one of the European universities And also, this is how we are able to update you every step of the way of your application progress. So what are you waiting for? Let's start now to a brighter future. Apply now to one of the lovely European countries in studying medicine or dentistry abroad. Back to you, Tom.
Daniela, thank you so much. I really appreciate you dedicating this time this evening to go over that. I understand you are dealing with hundreds and hundreds of applications at the moment, and so are all of your teams and colleagues across the different countries for obviously our Medlink Students admissions teams. It's a critical time of the year, so thanks again. I hope this has been a really good insight for all of you viewing to understand a little bit more. Obviously, we've also gone over some of the benefits. We've gone over what the differences are between places like the UK and Europe. So now we're going to talk a little bit about some of the top choices for studying abroad. So we're going to go over the top choices from the previous year, 2022. Now, in a moment, you're going to be able to see some of the universities coming up, and here we go. Yes. So two key things here, variety and opportunity come to mind. You have so many opportunities here for schools that you can apply to, but also so much variety. All of these schools have been checked and certified by our team and by our doctors and dentists. We have hundreds and hundreds of students that are studying here. Many have graduated, many have just started their studies last year. It's a whole combination. And one thing to notice is just how different some of them are. Now, in terms of cost, for example, somewhere like Hungary can be around £15,000 a year, whereas somewhere like Georgia can be as low as £5,000 a year, both offering very high value courses that, of course, meet international recognition. However, perhaps you're looking for a specific type of recognition, like you want to work in, say, the USA, for example, when you finish. Then we can guide you on specific countries here that will meet the recognition for the USA. Of course, for the UK, they have much more general requirements for you to come back. So with all of these universities, they do meet the criteria, and the vast majority of these actually have doctors practicing in the UK as we speak from these universities. So they've all got a fantastic track record. You're all very lucky coming in this time where so many people have been there before you, and they've kind of been the brave ones to go and embark on this. And nowadays it's a much more normal thing than it used to be. So yeah, so many different ones to choose from, obviously depending on whereabouts you're based as well. If you're in the UK, there are some that are a lot closer to you, some that are a bit further away. Perhaps you want to be close to family, perhaps you want to be a bit further away than the family. It's entirely up to you, but we can jump on a call and we can discuss it. We're all going to be available as much as we can over the weekend. We've already got lots of appointments booked in with a lot of you, so we really look forward to discussing that all with you. Now, as I said, these are the top choices for 2022. Going into this year, there are some big changes. One of those is that we have now started working with some fantastic schools in the Caribbean. And we're really happy to be able to share a really good insight today with you from some of these schools, some of the representatives there, and also a couple of doctors who have worked hard, got through the whole degree, and are now, one has registered with the General Medical Council, the other one is on the way to registering. I was lucky enough to interview them a few weeks ago. It's up on our YouTube channel if you want to see. Both delightful doctors. Really look forward to hearing a bit more insight from them today. So I'm going to now pass over to my colleague Edmund, who's going to tell us a little bit about the university in the Caribbean before we pass over to our doctors.
Thank you, Tom. Let's talk about the Caribbean. Now, this has been an area that we've been researching for quite some time now. We're really excited to share some opportunities with you over there. Now, we all know the Caribbean brings you sunshine all year long. Now, picture yourself studying under clear blue skies and warm sunshine. It's really a dream come true, right? But we're excited to introduce one of the universities we're working with, Richmond Gabriel University College of Medicine. Now, this is located in the beautiful island of St. Vincent. They offer a standalone 4-year program, which is the graduate entry medicine course. It's fully taught in English, and then you graduate there as a doctor of medicine. Now, for those of you who just completed your A-levels and probably wondering, how can I take part of it? Well, there is an opportunity also for you to join. They have designed a pre-med course, which after completing allows you to enter the actual 4-year program, something we can discuss on a case-by-case basis. And the best part, there's no need for the UCAT, the MCAT, the GAMSAT. Of course, there is an interview, video interview, which we will prepare you for. And the other part as well is that they have 3 intakes per year. The intakes are September, January, and May. Now, of course, they have made an exception for some of the students that wanted to join this year, would finish their A-levels. Now, of course, the seats are quite limited. So if you do want to take part, please get in touch with us. We are very busy, of course, but we'll do everything we can to try and get you started this year if you're looking at it. Now, of course, the degree is recognized by the DMC, another medical council. Now, I'm not here to tell you everything about the school. We actually have invited the dean and recent graduates to tell you about their experience. But I would like to invite the dean, Dr. Kamati, to come and join and tell us a bit more about the university and how you can also take advantage of that. Dr. Kamati, are you here with us?
Hi, Edwin. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Great.
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for having me here. It's a pleasure to join the Medlink team and speak with all of the potential candidates here today. Thank you so much for having me and giving me the opportunity to speak on behalf of Richmond Gabriel University. My name is Dr. Gomati Chunilal. I am the Dean of Student Affairs at the university, and I also work with the admissions department at the school. Please, it's a pleasure being here. So I'm given the opportunity to speak to the students about our university. We recently started working with the Medlink team to see, open a market for UK students into the Caribbean. So the name of our school is Richmond Gabriel University. It's a Canadian-owned and operated university. Called the College of Medicine is what we're speaking specifically about. It's located on the beautiful Caribbean island, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. As Edmund mentioned, we do offer a Doctor of Medicine degree program. It's a graduate level program. So we have a 4-year and a 5-year program. Our 4-year Doctor of Medicine program is for persons who, they're first degree holders. So you would have a bachelor's degree that will qualify you for entry into the 4-year program. Persons who are graduating out of high school or even through A-levels or community college, but specifically high school graduates. So this is a GCE O-level students. You have the opportunity to join our 5-year MD program. And with the 5-year program, you spend 4 semesters covering 90 credits of college level courses. And that gives you the requirement that you need to go into graduate level MD program. So it's a wonderful opportunity for you guys who are finishing high school and would like to get straight into medicine. Then the 5-year MD program would be suitable for you. It's a trimester program that we have. So we do 3 semesters per year, 15 weeks each for those semesters. And we have 3 intakes per year, January, May, and September. We're actually still, open for candidates for the September semester. If you guys are interested, Medlink is there to facilitate your entry. In terms of recognition, as Edmund mentioned, we are recognized by the Graduate Medical Council in the UK. We do have students qualified for the PLAB exams who are applying for a licensure and practicing in the UK presently. We also are recognized by the World Directory of Medical Schools. So our graduates also are eligible for ECFMG certification if they wish to practice in the US, as well as even in the Caribbean. So our university really is an international university. We have students from all over the world who would apply to us, and you get the opportunity to practice pretty much in multiple jurisdictions. We are recognized by the WDOMS, World Directory of Medical School, World Health Organization, the GMC, Graduate Medical Council in the UK, other African territories in the Caribbean, and so forth. So It's a pleasure being here. I look forward, hopefully, to see some of you guys joining us. As Edmund mentioned, we have some of our graduates on this call who may be speaking about the university. So I'll let you guys say something more. So Edmund, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kamati. We will speak to the students. There will be some questions that will come in that we'll revert back to you. Of course, we have some graduates who just recently started registration with the GMC. And I'd like to invite one of them to come and talk about their experience as a student, going through the course, and of course, graduating and registering with the General Medical Council. So I'd like to bring Dr. Jemima to come and join us and tell us about her experience. Dr. Jemima, are you there?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Dr. Jemima. That sounds really strange, calling myself a doctor. Wow.
That's a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
So yeah. So what can I say about our school? According to what Dr. Chunila already spoke, she said everything about our school. But as a student, so I'm going to start from the beginning. So the plan was not to go to the Caribbean to study. The plan was to go to Europe, because I live in UK, and one of my auntie actually spoke to a friend and was like, why don't you try the Caribbean since you have the intention of practicing medicine in America? So I was like, okay, that's interesting. So I did apply and I got in. But honestly, I was really scared because I didn't know what I was going to expect. But I'm actually glad I actually took the leap of faith to go to St. Vincent's to study medicine. And getting to St. Vincent's, it was quite strange for me because it's a new country. So technically, you just have to take the risk and just go. And I got there, I was actually welcomed really well. My school came to pick me up from the airport and they made sure I was in my apartment. So everything was fine. So regarding the whole teaching, studying, and I would say it was really, really good. But I'm going to be honest, it's quite tough. When I mean tough, you need to study all the time. Like you really, really need to study. And because of what was demanded from us, we didn't have that much time to play. Let me use the word play. We have to study all the time because we had exams. It's doable. All you need to do is just to focus on yourself, focus on your studies, and you can achieve your goal. And one thing I love about my school is that they assign mentors to you, someone to help you out when it comes to your study in case you're struggling. My school do assign somebody or a tutor that will help you out during your time in Richmond. So after I did a bit of pre-med. So I didn't start from the pre-med from the beginning, pre-med 1. So I started from pre-med 3 based on my qualification I had previously. So after finishing my pre-med, I did pre-med 3 and pre-med 4, then I went straight to my MD program. So I don't know if you guys can see the labs, the cadaver room. So that was one of our professors over there. So he's very good. He helps us to actually understand anatomy. And I think that's Dr. Bosch. He was also in charge of histology. So they don't leave you to study on your own. They actually support you. They help you. As long as you ask for help, that's what really matters. So when you're done with your basic medicine, then you tend to do your clerkship, which is your rotation. So we had the option of going to America, Jamaica, to do our rotation. So we have the core rotation and we also have the elective rotation. So with the core rotation, which can be done in America and which can also be done in Jamaica. But along the line, I decided that I wanted to come back to UK to practice medicine. So I decided to go to Jamaica because Jamaica medicine was closer to what we do in UK. So I had so much experience, so much learning to do. I learned a lot in Jamaica. But if you have the intention of doing the USMLE, I would really advise you to go to America to do your clerkship. And also my school has also given us the opportunity. You don't have to do your elective in America. You can do it in your home country. So I had the opportunity to come back to UK to do my electives, my elective program. So which went smoothly, to be honest, and which actually made me to understand more of how medicine is done in UK. I just applied for my GMC and everything went through and is being recognized by GMC. If you can check the website, you'll see the name, you see our school there. And also, the Caribbean is very safe. Ignore I know it's quite far from UK, it's about 8 hours journey, but trust me, it's really, really safe and you don't have to be worried, to be honest. And we have school buses as well that takes you in and out. Like, let's say if you're coming to classes, there's a bus that will wait for you, the school bus will bring you. And when you're ready to go, the school bus actually take you back to your house. So it all depends on what you want. You can have your private cab drivers where to pick you up. And yeah, so I don't know if there's any other questions. So I don't know if I've answered everything. So yeah.
You've done more than enough. You've done amazing. Thank you so much. How was the process for you registering with the General Medical Council? How did you find that process?
It was actually easy, funny enough. It was actually easy. It didn't take time. And I'm glad. So the good thing I love about my school, they reply to your email ASAP. They don't leave you hanging. So I'm not just, so what GMC does is that they contact my school, and funny enough, I think one of the dean actually replied to them instantly. So registering with GMC was very easy for me. So, and I didn't have to do the English exam because my school is taught in English. So I didn't have to do that. So the process, everything was pretty easy. And also, I'm also going to be starting from FY1. So I had to go through orals. Then after doing orals, then I went to GMC. So everything went smoothly. It wasn't difficult, to be honest. It was really, really easy.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I think a question that gets asked, and of course, thank you so much for answering these questions and sharing your experience. We know medicine, as you said, it's not easy. You know, it's not an easy ride, but this is for the students that are passionate about it. But there are some students that are here tonight, and perhaps parents that are worried about sending their kids abroad, or the students themselves are worried about taking that step. And as you've done it yourself, you've gone abroad, you did it, and now you're back home. What advice do you have for those students that are still unsure and they're worried about going abroad to do this?
Okay, so my advice to the student is that everything about life is a risk. So if you keep having this fear that, oh, how am I going to survive in the Caribbean? I have no family. Trust me, you're not going to succeed. So what I would say is that take that leap of faith, apply and go. And you don't need to be, it's a really, like in UK, it's very cold here. So just imagine being in a tropical island where you could easily just go to the seaside and study. And the weather is so great. And they have different activities as well. So you don't need to be scared. You don't need to be worried that, oh, you're alone. You're going to meet other students there, people like you as well. And as long as you communicate, you ask for help, you're going to be fine. It can be scary at the beginning, but trust me, when you're there, that all fear is gone and you'll be fine. To be honest, I was scared at the beginning. I'm not going to act like I wasn't, but I was. But the moment I got to St. Vincent, it was a different story for me. So I had to adjust to a new life. I had to make sure that, okay, I'm here for a reason. I'm here to get my degree. So I have to make sure I study hard in order for me to achieve my goal. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I
welcome.
know there's so many questions coming in, and we'll save them all for the Q&A. Of course, I know you'll be staying with us. So thank
Okay.
you. We can't wait to see what you end up doing in terms of your specialties, and the world is now your oyster. So we're
Yeah.
excited to see your journey and how it unfolds. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me the opportunity as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So another graduate that we also have has joined us tonight is Dr. Kevway. Dr. Kevway, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Hello. Thank you so much for joining us. Hang on, we can't see your camera.
I'm trying to put it on. It says you cannot start your video because the host has disabled it.
Oh, hang on 1 second. Let's see. There we go. Thank you for joining us. You've also studied at Richmond, Gabriel. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience and how you ended up at Richmond? Thank you.
Okay, so my own experience is a lot less exciting because I had just graduated from secondary school, and I was just sitting at home. I didn't actually have any plans of going to university. And so I was talking to an old schoolmate, and she was there, and she just told me about it, that, okay, like, have you tried, what are you doing for school? And I was like, I don't have any plans right now. So she told me to just look into making an application. Okay, so I started making an application, and I went through the interview process, and I got in. So it was just a less exciting story for me, but it's a leap that I'm glad I took.
That's great. Were there any challenges that you faced during your studies as a student, and what did you do to overcome those challenges?
Well, challenges and medical school. Medical school itself is a challenge, to be honest. It's like those things go hand in hand. They say medicine is like, studying medicine is like drinking out of a fire hose. And it's not as if the things that you are learning are too difficult or too complex. It's just that it's a lot of information. Okay, and I found that was a bit challenging, having to learn this, dealing with the anxiety, of dealing with so many topics in a short period. I mean, medicine has thousands and thousands of diagnoses. There's lots of drugs, lots of diseases. So how do you put those things in your head within the time period that you have and feel like you are competent as a doctor? Okay, so those were challenges I had. And for overcoming, I would say this is that, like, those of us that are going to medicine in the last 5 years or so, is that we are very lucky. Okay, we are living in a very different time. So they say one thing with medicine is that as time goes on, we start to learn new and new things, and the amount of information that you need to learn just keeps increasing. So if you go back to like in the 90s, there were so many diseases that we didn't understand, so many drugs we didn't understand. And, so there was a lot less things to learn. But now, coming 20, 30 years later, we are discovering more and more things, and we now have to learn these things. So, but the good thing that I say for those of us that are going to medical school in the past 5 years, that there's an abundance of resources that you can use to supplement yourself. I mean, classes are fine, professors are fine, but if you want to actually take that extra step, okay, to get your resources in order, whether you're using things like Anki, whether you're using things like question banks, it's never been easier to retain and to learn the information. So those are the challenges. Okay, there's a lot of information, and the solution is that there's just a lot of resources there to help you get those topics down.
Fantastic. You've started working now, right?
Yes, I have.
Fantastic. Can you tell us a bit about your GMC registration, how the process was from you going from registration to then working, to sitting the PLAB and then working?
Okay, so for the entire process of coming to the UK is that I applied for the UKFPO. So that's the United Kingdom Foundation program. And that was in July of last year. And we had to go through like an eligibility screening process where we filled some forms. I think there were a couple of us, and we filled some forms and sent it back to the GMC. And then we were, sorry, to the UKFP, and then we were invited to apply for PLAB. So I think we applied in July, and then by August or so, we had received our decision, okay, you guys are clear, write your PLAB by this date. So there's a lot of deadlines, but the good thing is that they give you a lot of information on the deadlines. So I had to write my PLAB 1 by November 3rd, and I did that. And then we used to write the SJT, which was a situational judgment test, which was just a test to show how do you act in a professional setting. But I think that's been discontinued for this year. And then after we got our passes for PLAB 1, then we were invited for to write PLAB 2, and I did that in May of this year. And when the results came out, okay, that I had passed in June, I was then invited to apply for GMC registration. So I started that process, and I got it done a couple of last week actually. So there were some delays, which it wasn't anyone's fault basically. But yeah, there were some delays that I had with my GMC registration because I had to send in some documents that I didn't realize that I had to send before. But I involved my hospital and I involved my school, and so I think I got my GMC registration in 3 days, like 3 working days, and I think that's a record because everyone was just on board making sure that I got the GMC registration in time to start. And I actually started last week, and I just finished from like a 13-hour on-call shift and everything. So yeah, it's a very straightforward process if you know what to do and if you know the deadlines to meet.
Fantastic. And what is a typical day in the life of a Foundation Year 1 doctor?
Okay, so the typical day, so it's a typical day would be like a 9 to 5 or an 8:30 to 4:30. Okay, it would differ based on what trust you are in, what hospital you're in. So in my hospital, it's that 9 to 5, 8:30 to 4:30. But then, like the life of a doctor, it's never that straightforward. So you would have some shifts. Like for example, for the past since, I don't remember what day it is right now. I think it's Thursday or Friday. So since Monday or so, I've been on 9 p.m. to 10 a.m. The next day. So we've been working those 13-hour shifts. So maybe once every rotation, because we have 4 months blocks of each rotation. So maybe once or twice you have this 13-hour on-call shifts. And then there are also some shifts that run from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. Okay, and we call those on to twilight shifts. But the vast majority of your time will be spent with 9 to 5 on the wards.
Fantastic. A question also we asked Dr. Jemima as well is the students that are listening tonight. Of course, you've done this. You've studied, gone abroad, done it all. Any advice for those students that are also worried about going abroad and studying medicine, particularly in the Caribbean, with it being so far away?
Okay, so how I would approach that is that you have an idea of what you want to do, okay? You have an idea of what you want to do with yourself, what you want to do in the future. So I would just approach this as life is a journey, right? And this is just one step that you have to take in the journey. So it's never a straightforward road, okay? There's sometimes you have detours and things like that. But I would just invite them to see it as an opportunity. Because, for example, whenever I tell people here that I studied in the Caribbean, their first reaction is that must be so nice. for you, or their first reaction will be something like, "Oh, I'm so jealous about that." Oh, so how come you left there and you came here with our weather? Oh, you must miss the weather. So it's like people understand the importance of new experiences. Okay, I guess I can say that. And actually, there were a lot of UK students who come to the Caribbean for things like electives. So I met quite a couple of them when I was there in the Caribbean. So it's a new experience, and it's scary at first, but it's going to turn out to be much better. When you've been there for a couple of months, a couple of weeks, and you just see that, okay, this is just life, and there's lots of things to do. Okay, there's lots of experiences that you can have. So see it as you're experiencing something new, and it's okay to be scared, but there's actually there's a world of opportunity out there, like if you're willing to just take that step. So that's what I would advise.
Thank you. There are some questions that if you stay back later, there are some Q&A, live Q&A. So we will be asking you some more questions. But thank you so much. We're really excited that you started your journey as a doctor, and this is a testament that all the hard work does actually pay off eventually. So yeah, thank you for joining us, and there will be some more questions for you later. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So back to you, Tom. We have, I think, as the students or the graduates, so there are so many reasons to join and study in the Caribbean. Not only just the weather, which is brilliant, but also the ability to join other like-minded students who are willing to share their experiences with you and the culture, and you will be immersed with a lot of experiences as well. And as you've seen, we have graduates who are back in the UK to work as a doctor. So I'd like to pass this back to Tom. Actually, I have been told now the next option is myself. So the other option that we can talk about, which is we're really excited about, is Riga Stradins University. This is a university in Latvia. Now, imagine studying in the beautiful city of Riga, which is the capital city, which has lots of things to do. And it's actually quite easy to travel to other places in Europe. Now, they have two main courses. They have medicine, and they also have dentistry. Medicine is 6 years. You graduate there as a doctor of medicine. Dentistry is 5 years, and you graduate there as a doctor of dental surgery. Now, guess what? There are no tricky tests to worry about. Everything is based on the merits of your application, and that's where we come in and help you create a strong file to give you an edge over other applicants. Now, studying medicine costs about 12,000 euros per year, and dentistry is roughly around 14,000. That's what it starts from for the first couple of years, and then the final 3 years, it really goes up to 15,000. Living costs, which is including everything, it can be between 600 to 800 euros per month. Now, you can begin your studies in September or February. Now, right now, we are taking applications for the February start. So you can actually take advantage of the journey with us in winter. Now, at the university, they believe in learning by doing. So in dentistry, you'll start the practical classes right away, even before meeting real patients. Now, they also have some rooms with really cool models for practice, which helps you learn before you start the real thing. And it's not just books there. They also have the opportunity for the students to take advantage of things like volleyball, basketball. They also have the activities that allows you to make friends and have a great experience. Now, as a medical side of things, they also have the simulation centers for the students that they get hands-on experience at the beginning of the course, which really allows you to understand really the concept of understanding patient contact at the very, very beginning of the course before you even start to see patients in your final years of the course. Now, other activities that you can get involved in, which is things like volleyball, you get in dance classes, team building activities. This really allows you to bond with your other students and from other faculties as well. Now, of course, as a student, you get the opportunity really to join all of these fun activities which the university organizes for you. If you're into, they have the graduation ceremony, the parties, the Freshers Week, which is going to be starting soon, the New Year parties. And this is really a good time for you to get involved in pretty much everything that you need to become an all-round student. Now, the university itself has 16 international student societies, which you can be part of the community. Is as diverse as it gets. Now, they have the British RSU, they call them society, the Irish societies, or maybe the Muslim society, which could be more your style. And hey, if you're all about the camaraderie with the fellow dental students, they've got that covered too. So why would you study at Riga Stradins University? Well, they have a globally recognized university, which stands tall with other medical councils across the world. They have over 30 years of international studies, which really a lot of universities can't boast of this. They have a diverse student environment. So there's about 26% of their students are from countries, the UK, Europe, US, and Africa, and beyond. And also, they have an intimate class setting, which means that you have between 10 to 20 students, which really fosters for dynamic learning. You get a lot of support from the teachers while you're there. And they also have a lot of hands-on experience, which allows you to have really confidence in your clinical placement. So whether or not you're there to do a lot of the activities there, you're a sport enthusiast, really studying at Riga Stradin is something that a lot of students who are there get to take part of. Now, I'd like to hand this back to my colleague, Tom. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Edmund. Wow, what a contrast. You go from the sunny paradise beaches of the Caribbean to then the beautiful settings up in Northern Europe of Latvia with the prestigious school Riga Stradins, which is just edged in history and phenomenal levels of medical education. We've had so many students there that have been so happy with everything. Of course, they both have a lot of things in common as well. Both have a very high level of medical education. And as the doctors told you and warned you, which I'm sure you're aware of already, it's a lot of hard work wherever you go. If someone ever tells you a medical school is easy, it means it's not such a good medical school. Medical school has got to be hard. But of course, the schools that we choose to work with are also very supportive. That is one of the top aspects on our list, alongside, of course, international recognition, is ensuring that these schools are going to support you as much as possible, because we understand it's very difficult and we want to make sure you have every opportunity for success possible. So moving on from there, the next school that we want to discuss with you is the University of Novi Sad, and I'm going to pass over to my colleague Dana, who's going to tell us a little bit more about this school. Over to you, Dana.
So Novi Sad is one of our most popular options, one of the best universities that students enjoy and love learning at. It's Novi Sad for medicine, dentistry, and pharmacy. The university is located in Serbia, in Novi Sad, which is the second biggest city in Serbia. The university has an entrance exam. The entrance exam will be based on biology and chemistry to test your basic knowledge for biology and for chemistry, which we will be helping you prepare for. And the tuition fees are quite affordable too, which is around 6,500 euros a year. The university does not have its own dormitories, but they do have a lot of apartments that have very affordable prices close to the university that will also help you find and arrange. Living expenses is a very common question students ask, and you can consider around 700 euros a month for living expenses altogether. And the next intake we have is October, but please bear in mind that the spots are very limited and you need to apply for it now. According to the campus features and the university, I'm going to let our student tell you more about the university and her experience. We have a student here, Zahra. Are you with us?
Yes, hello, can you hear me?
Hi, Zahra. Can you tell us a little bit more about your experience at Novi Sad?
Yes. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the camera on.
We can hear you, but we can't see you.
Okay, can you see me now?
Yeah.
So my experience at the University of Novi Sad is pretty good, actually. The university is great, the teaching is great, the students are friendly, everyone's welcoming, it's taught in English, which is really good. And obviously, having our clinicals, we have some Serbian students with us, which makes it easier to communicate with the patients in Serbian. So that's also very beneficial. And our lectures are all taught in English, and our professors have a very good level of English. It's very understandable. And yeah, any questions? I can't hear you.
Sorry, my bad here.
It's okay.
So can you tell us a little bit more about your experience in the city life, the country, the people there?
Novi Sad is known for its diversity. It's one of the most cultural cities in Serbia. It's very close to Belgrade, and every year we have a very large influx of students from different countries. From the exchange program between Europe and Serbia. So a lot of people from like Italy, Spain, Germany come in on an exchange program every year, and there's a lot of life in this city. Everywhere you go, you bump into someone you know, and it's a very small, quaint little city, but there's so much going on all the time. Like this summer, there was a lot of activities with our university and like an exchange program of hosting students, so we can get involved as students and help see other students around and give them a tour of the city, which is really it's really nice to do for those who just come as well.
Oh wow, thanks for this insight. And I got a question from a student here asking about the classes and the exams. Basically, they're asking how difficult it is. Can you tell us more about the support you get with the university?
So what I love about my university is we have exam terms. We don't have like an end of year period of where you have to do your exams, and if you pass or if you fail, you don't get into the next year. They give you, especially in the summer, they give you June to September to complete all your exams to get enough points to go into the next year. And honestly, it's a big stress relief to spread out your exams like that. That's why I'm back in Serbia right now, because I'm doing some exams in the August exam period. And the university, they give you that leniency of like, okay, you don't need to do it. There's not a specific time where you need to do this exam then, but you have until September to complete all your exams and pass into the next year. And if you don't, then you have to retake the year. But that's very supportive of them. And the teachers themselves, they're always keen to hear if you have like any questions, and if you have any queries about anything, they'll take time and actually explain it to you, especially if it's a practical. If you show like so much interest in that subject from that teacher, they love it. They want you to come like on Saturday and on Sundays and like just be with them, and like they want to explain it to you in English. It's quite supportive of them.
Wow, that's great. I'm sure a lot of students are relieved now to hear that from you. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Zahra, and I'm sure we'll have a lot of more questions for you for the Q&A. I hope you can make it with us.
I'll try.
Thanks a lot so far. I know it's a busy period for you now.
Yeah.
So, as you can see on the screen in front of you, the university has a lot of activities. As Zahra mentioned, many social activities where you can go sightseeing to see places, numerous sports events. If you're a sports person, you can find the best sports that you play and release the stress of studying and being away from family. You can enjoy your experience with a completely new family you make in a new country. In addition to that great city life, Novi Sad is well known to be one of the best cities, and the nightlife's quite nice there too. And to show you more reasons why to study at Novi Sad, moving on to the next page, which is a lot of reasons students like the university and like going there. One of them is Novi Sad is considered the second biggest city in Serbia. So there's lots of activities for students to do. In addition to the university of always renovating and expanding and developing the campus and the courses and the quality they have, which is considered one of the highest qualities. And they have around 50,000 students on campus. They have accreditations in many different countries at various levels. In addition to the library that students enjoy the experience of, you can go sit in a library if you need to read a book, if you need to do research. You have a digital library that you can access. And in addition to the successful performance of the university throughout these years. I'll hand it over to Tom to tell you about our next option, which is Poland.
Fantastic, Dana. Thank you very much. I just want to say a quick word for Novi Sad in Serbia, obviously just next door to Bulgaria, a very popular country also. Serbia does still have some availability. So if you want to, please reach out to us either through the website, or there'll be a QR code you can scan at the end of the webinar, and also a link you can click on to book appointments with us. We'd be more than happy to help you. Contact us directly through our numbers on WhatsApp as well to your assigned advisor, and we'll do everything we can to help because spaces are still available. It's a fantastic opportunity to join an intensely growing international community of students there at the moment within, as you can hear, a very, very supportive school. So thank you so much to my colleague and to the students there for sharing those details about Serbia. So moving on from Serbia then, yes, let's talk about Poland. Poland is a country that we have held dear for many, many years. It's an incredible place for medical education. And the university we want to speak about is one that we are, again, lucky enough to still be able to offer for October, just like Novi Sad as well. So this university is called Bialystok. Now, Bialystok is located about an hour and a half outside of the capital city of Poland, Warsaw. So it's pretty easy to travel to. It's quite a small city. It's a very peaceful place, but it has a thriving international student community there. The courses that they teach there are medicine and a pre-med course. And as I said, medicine is still available. There are the last few remaining spaces now. Through our sort of clearing, we're able to still get everything done for you. There is an entrance test. It's part of an interview, so it's done over a video call with this school. We do help you a lot to prepare for it, but it's pretty straightforward. So you should be absolutely fine if you've just finished A-levels or the equivalent in another country. Tuition fees, as you can see, Poland is a little bit higher than somewhere like Serbia. So you are looking around 13,500 euros per year. Cost of living around 700 euros per month on average. They do have dormitories available, but also we can help you to source private accommodation if that's what you prefer. Some people do. And of course, the next intake, as I said, is for this October, but you do have to act fast. Can't stress this enough. It is really, really limited now, but we are here to help. So speaking of Bialystok, we have got a student, Samaya. Samaya, are you with us?
Hi, good evening.
Hi, Samaya. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good, good. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having
I'm sure
me.
you were once a nervous student that was sat there. What made you decide on going for Poland?
So for me, it was I was given a choice between Poland and Serbia.
Okay.
Both of them, and sorry, yeah.
Sorry, we lost you slightly there.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay. Okay. So, like I said, I was given the choice for Poland, and I jumped on the occasion for it. And I applied for Bialystok because it was accepting. I was a little late for applying, so this was the university which was accepting back then, and I don't regret my decision at all. So it's been a wonderful year so far. And
Great.
I'm
So
more
you've
to
been
go.
there for 1 year.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. And can you tell us some of the highlights? What are some of the great things that you love about it?
So Bialystok is a very small city, but it's totally student city. So everywhere there are students, and the English division is one of the biggest division. So my batch was the biggest English division has ever got. Plus the teaching, the professors are extremely helpful. The students in the above years are helpful. So everyone is there to help you. And yeah, in general, it's a very nice place to stay. And it's not that far away from Warsaw as well. So you can take a easy weekend trip as well.
Sounds like you picked the perfect school for you.
Yes, I have, for sure. I got very lucky with it.
Good. I'm really happy for you. Of course, this is what we try and do it all for, is to see these reactions. It's great for us. In terms of kind of beforehand, before you went, obviously it was only a year ago for you.
Mm-hmm.
So what was something you were concerned about, and how did you overcome that when you started?
So for my main concern was, will the material that I'll be provided by the university to study for, is it going to be in English or is it going to be in Polish? And how is it in general? Like, are the professors fluent in English, of course, because it's degree for 6 years, and to translate each and every document, it's not possible. But when I went there, everyone speaks English over there. We have a specific administration group as well, so they speak fluent English. And the administration in general helps you to find an accommodation. Medlink helps you as well. So I was able to get both of them to help me with it. And if you have any questions, they're always there to help you. The professors, you reply, they are always active on their email IDs, so you can always contact them through email. And like I said, it's a very friendly community. It's a small community. We all know each other, so that helps a lot.
Fantastic. And is there anything that you sort of do outside of the schooling? Do you have any hobbies or any societies that you're a part of, any clubs?
Since it was my first year, I did not join yet any community, but yes, there is a organization called as IMSA. They organize like surgical workshops or diabetic workshops, small workshops to just take a step into the practical world. But yeah, and this year I do plan on joining that association.
Now, obviously, a lot of people, they don't know that much about Poland or Eastern Europe in general. What's it like for you, as a girl leaving home, going away for the first time, moving to this new country? Do you feel safe?
Yes, for sure. I can tell you that I can walk home at 11 at night and I will perfectly feel safe. Of course, if you are very late, you can always book a cab. They're very affordable as well. People are very nice over there. Especially the younger generation, everyone speaks English, but the older generation, they do not, which is understandable as well. But they are helpful. You can use the Google Translator at all times. And like I said, the university itself organizes like parties or something to just make the English division interact with the Polish one. So yeah.
Nice. And what bit of advice would you listen? Because Bialystok is still available for a few students this year. So is Serbia. For those of the students that are sat there now wondering, do I go for this or do I take a gap year? What should I do? What advice would you give to them based on what you've experienced?
Honestly, I was in the same position last year. I was worried if it's a good choice or not, but you should go for it, definitely. It's like I said, it's a small community, very helpful, everything. And like everyone's coming from different places. There are Norwegians, Germans, British, everyone. I was the only one from Switzerland, so I was pretty alone that initially, but everyone's sitting in the same boat. They are orientation week. And of course, after the school, you can meet up with everyone. You make friends very quickly, and the professors are amazing. We have we have anatomy as a theory part as well, but as practical as well. So you will see cadavers, the histology department, and everything is very organized as well. So yeah.
Fantastic. Samaya, thank you so much for sharing this insight with us. If you're still around in a little while, we will be doing a Q&A. So I'm sure there's been a lot of people asking questions. Maybe someone's asked some directed for you. So if that's the case, we may come back and ask you some questions.
Thank you. Sure.
Great, thank you. So some highlights for Bialystok from myself. This school has been established a very long time now. They are incredibly supportive. Of course, it's a 100% English taught program. As Samaya said, they all speak really good English, and it is recognized by the World Directory. Poland has just started applying for WFME accreditation as well, which is something that we'll be discussing for the next school. It's really good for American recognition, and it shows a very, very high level of education within the country. It's very peaceful, it's very safe, as you've heard, so it's a fantastic one to go for. And as you can see, lots of points here. They have so many partnerships. They're doing a great job as a university, and we're proud to have them, to be able to work with them and to be able to send students like Samaya there, who was very nervous a year ago today, and now you can see big smile on her face. She's becoming a doctor. She's living the dream and doing what she loves to do. So this is why we do what we do. It's amazing to see it. Samaya, thanks again for sharing that with us. So want to go on to another university. This one has been really popular, especially for this year. We've had a lot of applications. I myself have had a lot of people apply just within the past 48 hours since results day. And it's called Petreshotadze Tbilisi Medical Academy, or TMA, as most people know it. This is located in the capital city of Georgia, Tbilisi. Which statistically is one of the safest capital cities in the world. It's a really nice place for students. We love sending students there. They have such a blast, and it's just a really good setup that they have there. It's a great atmosphere for international students. They have medicine only with this school. They do specialize in medicine with this one in particular. There is no entrance exam. It is just a general interview, and we do help you to prepare for that. Tuition fees, as you can see, it's around €6,500, so £5,600 approximately per year. Cost of living does vary. I tend to say around £400-500 to £600-700 per month, depending on the individual. Of course, some of us like to live in bigger places, some of us like to spend a bit more on our food shopping, etc., etc. There are dormitories available as well in terms of living, if you want to live, of course, with the other students, similar to what you have with halls in the UK. And the next intake, again, this one has clearing spaces available for this October, which we were so excited about to know that we were still able to offer this university for students who really need an option to go for. It's a great course. Now, I want to invite a couple of students. First of all, Ipaleng, are you with us?
Hi, Can you hear me?
Hi. Yes, I can hear you. How are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
Very well, thank you. Can you tell us what year you're in?
I'm in first semester. I just completed my first semester. So I'm
just completed the first semester.
Yes.
We've got all the newbies this time. I think all of the later years students are all very busy at this time of year. Okay, so tell us, how's your experience been so far?
Honestly, my experience has been nothing but lovely. The lecturers are so supportful. The people there are honestly lovely. In terms of communication with the locals that are there, they've been given a course where we can actually learn Georgian ourselves, and that kind of helps us communicate with not only like the locals but also as well as our patients. What else?
How well do the teachers speak English at your university?
They're good at speaking English. There is a bit of an accent, but you can hear everything. In terms of explaining everything, the materials as well, if you don't understand something, the lecturers are always willing to explain something in such a way that you can understand. So it's really a very good support as a university.
Fantastic. And what's it like living in Tbilisi?
Honestly, it's really good. I can't lie to you. It is a bit of a difference from my country, obviously being South Africa. But other than that, I would say that it's very comfortable. Everyone is very welcoming, and the locals do try and talk to you and really just try and have conversations. What I love most is that they're always willing to share their culture with you, and also they're also willing to kind of learn from your culture as well. So other in terms of like living there, everything is really good. Transportation is really good. It takes me about 25 minutes to get to the university by a metro, which is like a train. Like everything is really good. People there are honestly lovely. There's also other students that also have experienced the same thing that I'm going through, and being able to kind of communicate with other students and really figure out their experiences just brings sort of comfort that I'm not the only one going through this thing.
Yeah, and how have you found the international community of students there? Obviously, we have a lot of UK students that are coming into TMA this year. It's a huge amount of applicants, but also some from various different African countries, Asian countries, America, etc. What's the community like for you? Is it nice? Is it comfortable?
Diverse. It's very comfortable. Like the students from Pakistan, India, as well as the UK, as you've mentioned. I've met a student that's also from Australia as well. Like, it's very diverse, in my opinion. I can't find it here.
Good. And what did you feel nervous about beforehand, and what did you realize when you got there? What was one thing you were concerned about?
So the thing that I was most nervous about coming there was like the fact that I'm going to be alone. I felt like I was going to be left alone. But from the very beginning, like, I was given proper documentation. Medlink has communicated with me throughout, told me what to expect, like things that I wouldn't even think about, like health insurance. Like, we've been provided proper documentation for that as well. Immediately when I arrived, there was a person from Medlink, I think his name is Hamza. He transported me to the hotel and also did show me the university itself and things like when it would open, like maybe the metro station where I can find it nearest to my hostel. I was also given information about my different hostels where I could live and in terms of costs and what I could find there as well, find Medlink. So everything has been really good.
Fantastic. We're so happy that you were able to benefit from the support that we provide for people. That's the main thing. We understand that it can seem so daunting at first for people, can't it? You're thinking that you're all alone. What advice would you give for people? What should they do when they first get to the city to really embrace it and to make the most of it?
My advice in terms of like what the first thing to do is like ask the questions that you were not sure about. Obviously, like the driver himself was willing to answer some of the questions that we were not sure about. We even gave us a phone number where we could communicate with him, and if we needed to take us places, he was capable to do that. But in terms of like the med school life in general, my advice is if you stay on top of everything, you could have the opportunity to go see other sites, which Medlink also did provide, like different tribes and areas where you could go see and visit with your friends and etc. So if you stay on top of everything, everything is just going to be okay. Yes, medicine is tough, but with the support given by the university, it does make things feel a lot better, I'd say, in my opinion.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing all of that with us. We will have the Q&A shortly, so if we have any questions directed for you, we'll send them your way. But thank you so much for taking up the time to speak with us. You've helped so many students. I can see here we've still got so many people watching. So thank you for sharing the insight. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're more than welcome. More than welcome. We hope to have you again and listen to your journey. Thank you. Okay, so we've got next up another student from TMA, Majid, who's going to tell us a bit about his experience. Majid, are you with us?
Hello, Tom.
Hi, can you hear us all right?
Yes, can you also see me or?
Yes, we can see you, we can hear you. Everything seems good.
All right, good, perfect.
Okay, great. Can you tell us a bit about yourself and where you're up to with your education now?
So I mean, as you know, TMA and yeah, Tbilisi, you know very well.
Okay, fantastic. And how have you found your experience there? Can you tell everyone viewing kind of what it's been like for you at TMA?
Yeah, sure. So you know, I'm a fifth-year student. You know, I may transfer, you know, from Ukraine, and yeah, I've been here like a few months, roughly about 5 months, and the experience so far, you know, it has been just amazing. You know, like it just keeps getting better and better, and sometimes I even wonder, you know, when it's gonna stop. But the truth, you know, that so far, you know, I'm just getting more and more excited because, you know, basically, you know, I like the how the system here works, you know, with the how the school plan, you know, your subject, because where I used to study and how we study here, the planning are completely different. So I've been doing many subjects in a short times, and I've been going to hospital, and I've been seeing patients. I actually learned, new things, like how to write, like patient, history or information, everything about it. I basically, it's two different words from where I was to where I am now, and I'm happy. I'm truly happy to be here. Really, really happy. Yeah.
Fantastic. And so you're in a later year. You've been getting some clinical experiences.
Excuse me?
Have you been getting some clinical experiences recently?
Yes, of course. I've been getting continuously. So I've been doing the gynecology. I've been now doing internal disease. Before that, I was doing it again. Like there's something called internal disease that it's like internal medicine. There's divided into different sections. So I've been doing the second and the third one, and yeah, and all of them, you do them, in the hospital. But before that, there is the theoretical part. This is where they teach you what you're gonna see in the hospital, and then once they teach you, once you go there, in the hospital, they will show you, and that's where the practical comes, with it, and that's where it just gets better. Like you go there, you think nothing is gonna. It's like I'm really wasting my time and something like that. But then once you get into the hospital, you're like, oh, my day was worth it. It's like I can go home, and just not even
Feel
relax,
fulfilled.
just think about it, what you did today. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's like paying money, and seeing seeing these things, on a daily basis. It's like you're like, it's worth it. I really invested, in a good place, and that's it. Yeah, I just get that feeling.
Great. It's so nice to know that you're so well supported. I know with you being in a later year, everything's very intensive, so you probably don't have a lot of time to do anything apart from your studies. But are there any other kind of events or societies or anything that you've been a part of?
I do things, outside, the university, since, right now it's summer here, there's plenty of things you can do. Like I do love actually trekking, like for example, because he's nature, and I like to go, just for long walks, and just see different areas, different, like maybe cities, just get a bus, go to the next town, just explore. And I recently actually, got to know some Georgians, Georgian friends, that they took me to this amazing restaurant. When I told them, I never ate, any Georgian food, and I just ate the basics, like in Cali, and they were like quite offended. They were like, we have to take you there. We have to take you, to a nice Georgian restaurant, or even outside, like Tbilisi, like let me take you to the real place where they give you the good food. And I was like, okay, so I went there, and I just discovered something new. And it's, oh wow! Not just that, there's plenty of things to do here, like outside your study hours. Plenty of things. You never get bored, and it's safe. It's truly safe. And I mean, it's up to you. If you attack someone, you get attacked back. But if you just mind your business and you just enjoy, everything is fine.
Fantastic. Yeah, well, as I said before, the statistics show with Tbilisi, that's what makes one of the reasons it's so popular, is that safety aspect. So what I'd like to just to wrap up on the talk there about the school before we carry on. What advice do you want to give to those listening today?
Or regarding, like coming to TMA?
Yeah, if they're thinking about applying to go and study abroad, to come and study in Georgia, what advice would you give based on your experience?
My experience is, I mean, you see, this country is safe. Second, TMA, you know, like so far it hasn't disappointed me at all. And my advice is just go for it. Don't be scared, you know, just try your best. And you know, like, you know, come here, think of it like, you know, I'm just gonna explore this place, but for a long term, you know, think of it like that. And you will see, you know, that this place, you know, it's got a lot to offer, not just Tbilisi, but even TMA, you know, it's got a lot to offer, and the people are really happy, you know, like to help you. If you have problems, you know, they're ready, you know, like to help you and even try to solve it. But just don't be scared, you know, like just try your luck and everything will be fine. That's what I believe.
100%. I think you have to just face that fear of the unknown, don't you? Thank you, Majid, so much for sharing your insight. Again, as I've mentioned to the others, we will be doing the Q&A shortly. So if you're around, we may ask you a couple of questions. So thank you again so much for taking up. You know, we know your time is precious, so thank you.
Thanks a lot.
So a couple of key points from me. Thank you. Regarding to Tbilisi Medical Academy, TMA University, it's the first private medical institution in Georgia. So they specialize in bringing programs to people who want to go and register in places like the UK, Western Europe, the USA, you know, these kind of countries is what the university specializes in. So they develop extremely supportive courses that include a lot of practical learning, a lot of hybrid learning. You may have seen, if you were here from the beginning, we had the video at the start, which we can, of course, share with you if you want to ask us for these videos for more information about the university. But it's a fantastic school, really supportive, very high level of education, and of course meeting international requirements. As you can see here, the list of all these letters, all these different places. Of course, you've got the World Directory, that's the big one that most medical councils will look for, including the General Medical Council in the UK. It's also one of the easiest ones for you to check. So if you go to the World Directory of Medical Schools, so wdoms.org, then you can search for Tbilisi Medical Academy and you will see all of the details about it, when it was established, the address, the programs they offer, everything. So it's fantastic. It's a great opportunity. We're really happy to be able to work with them and to help so many of you passionate, committed students get into a school that is worth your time, because that's what we really want to help you with. So going on from there, I want to invite you to have a free consultation with ourselves. I know I've mentioned it a couple of times, but here is the QR code, here is the link. So if you want to book in an appointment with us, we will be opening up more appointments over the weekend. So if you can't see something right now, please check back in a couple of hours or even tomorrow morning, and we will have more availability. If there aren't any times suitable for you, please send us a message on WhatsApp. We are getting contacted by hundreds and hundreds of students at the moment. We are going to help all of you. Anyone who wants our help to make these dreams come true, we are here to help. We've got the team, we've got the system in place. We are here to help you, and we will do it. We're going to be obviously going over the Q&A, but just before we do, we want to explain in a bit more detail our process and what we will do for you. And so to do that, I'm going to pass it over to my colleague Dana, who's going to discuss a little bit about how, as an organization, we will help you from step one right up until the finale. Dana, over to you.
Thank you, Tom. So that's a very common thing students worry about, because they don't know how the process works in Europe, and the process in Europe can be a bit complicated and a long process, especially that you're in a different country, you don't know anybody in the specific country, and it requires people who are experts in the field. So we have our team of experts in every country we work with, where we can help you with the application, we can guide you on. We start with a free consultation. We go on a call with you, we guide you, we help you with the admission process all together. And with the free consultation, you will see one-to-one support. You will be guided based on the qualifications you have, because from every country to another, it's different. They have different systems of high school. So a lot of students come to us and say, I went on the university website, I can't understand what the requirements are because it's different from one country to another. So one of our expert advisors will be with you to guide you and help you choose the right university, to help you choose the right option for you. We move on to the ongoing support that we have throughout the application. We have our team of experts that will be with you, guiding you. What makes us different than other agencies is that we are from the field. So expert doctors and are the ones who've done the research. You have students with you who study on campus. And these students, they will be supporting you once you arrive there. We have a team of expert admissions. The admission department will guide you what documents you need. You just collect the documents and you don't have to lift a finger. They will do all the translation, all the legal paperwork, like translating documents, legalizing them, notarizing them. You don't have to lift a finger with that process. They will create a strong competitive file for you, submit it to the university to make sure that we secure a place for you. In addition to helping you settle in the country that you're going for. And this is the job of our students. One of our students will meet you at the airport. They will pick you up, take you for a tour around the city. And these students have been in your position before. They know how it feels when you arrive to a new country. You haven't been there before. You don't know anybody there. They'd be like a second family for you. So they're going to guide you, show you what they needed or what they found was supportive when they came. So they'll take you for a tour around the city, help you find a suitable apartment to rent and settle into your accommodation. All these tiny details like buying a SIM card, opening a bank account, buying your medical insurance. And they, of course, introduce you to a team of students over there who will be studying with you on campus. And they call us Medlink's family on campus because we're like a community and you're going to be part of this family. And in a few years from now, you might be helping newcomers. And I'm sure everybody of you loves helping others. That's what pushes you to want to become doctors and save lives and dentists. So we help you with your application from A to Z, starting with a free consultation until you manage to find the right university, the perfect option, the perfect environment, to helping you with the application process, handling it from A to Z, to getting you accepted, to helping you once you arrive there, around the city, finding your own accommodation. So I know that you hear a lot about moving to a new country and a lot of things to do, but don't worry, we have all this prepared. We have a team of experts prepared for every single step of the way to make sure we help you achieve your dream, because this is our passion here. Our desire is to help you become a successful doctor, because your success is our success. So we will be with you every step of the way to make sure you go through this journey very smoothly, no complications, and you return back home as a successful doctor and make your family proud. So don't hesitate to book a call with us. We're waiting for you. And as Tom said, we're receiving a lot of appointments, a lot of students speaking to us. So if you don't find a slot to book, just leave us a text on WhatsApp and we'll manage to call you at some point. I'll move on to Tom so we can go for the Q&A now, the exciting part.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Dana. You described that perfectly. So great insight from this evening. I hope you've all enjoyed everything so far. Obviously, we're going to try and get through some of your most common questions now that we've seen throughout the presentation on the Q&A. We're going to ask a couple of our students. We're going to be answering some of the questions ourselves. But before we do that, I just want to say as well, yes, we are facing some of the biggest numbers we've ever seen before here at Medlink Students in all of the years that we've done this. So what I want to say to you myself is, before we start the Q&A, is you're not alone. We have so many students that are in similar positions as yourself right now. Obviously, especially in the UK, the A-level grades have been so tough on students this year. So we do really understand where you're coming from. We just want to do our best to help and work out whether this is the right opportunity for you. So feel free to message us on WhatsApp. We'll sort out an appointment. We will make time for you, as we have done in the past 36 hours. None of us have had much sleep as you may or may not be able to tell, because we're just trying to get through to as many of you as we possibly can that need our help. So don't give up. The opportunities are available. As long as you bring that passion and that commitment to study medicine or dentistry, we will do the rest, and we will do everything we can to help. So I'm going to pass over to my colleague now, Edmund, who is going to go through the Q&A with you. Edmund, over to you.
Thank you, Tom. So we will be going through some questions, Q&A, a lot of the questions that you guys have been asking. Now, I will go through one of the questions that's been asked. And one of them is, I've heard that St. Lucia, you can finish medicine course in 3 years. What's your opinion on this? This is a fantastic question. And one that we're happy to actually share with you guys. Now, as an organization, we're very particular with the organizations or the schools that we choose to work with. The reason it's taken us quite a long time to actually step into the Caribbean world is we wanted to find the right schools, the ones that actually provide a good standard of education, good quality, and ones that allows you to perhaps come back to the UK to register. So whenever we see schools, for example, offering something that is out of the ordinary, the Caribbean offers 4-year courses, and a school, of course, offering 3, we tend to get a little bit skeptical, just like anyone would. So as an organization, we, of course, reached out. We wanted to understand what the GMC stands on, and they remain quite non-committal on acceptability of the 3-year courses. So one of the things that the GMC actually stated themselves is whether a 3-year course is acceptable is not something that they can definitively answer. And the university in question is an institution that they've highlighted as a potential issue due to the course duration. So therefore, any qualification from the university will need a full new awarding body assessment at such time that as a graduate contacts them regarding taking PLAB or registering for it. Now, essentially what the GMC is saying that if you didn't study for 4 years, which the university offers, then they will have concerns about you registering fully. Now, your future in medicine merits more than just an uncertain and a doubtful approach. You deserve a proven, reputable path abroad, right? And here at Medlink Students, we're really much committed to helping you find the path and get in touch, really, so we can find and provide you with the facts, because that's all you need. Going to the Caribbean, of course, is a new territory. Now, we want to make sure that you come back as a fully qualified doctor, where our graduates recently, you've seen the likes of Dr. Jemima and Dr. Kevway, have gone and done a 4-year course and been able to come back and register successfully with the GMC. They study the full length of the course. So whilst we understand sometimes medicine as a journey can be long and difficult, we want you to take the right path. We want you to be able to do the right thing when you do come back to the UK, so you can register with the General Medical Council. So what other questions that we have? How is it living in a different country and having to adapt and speaking and learning different languages for 5 to 6 years? Now, we do have some of our students here who are studying abroad, and I'd like to bring back Majid to tell us about how he's managing, of course, as a student in Georgia and learning the language. Majid?
Hello?
A question that's been asked is how is it living like in a different country and having to adapt and learning a new language for the time that you're there?
Okay. You see, living in another country, usually, well, I'm blessed because I had friends already here and they already showed me everywhere. But at the beginning, I've seen that I was a bit confused, like by the system. Like what I mean is the taking the metro or going to the shops or prices, but everything like that. But it gets easier, as you times goes by. It took me around like two weeks and a half. But if you've got direction, like for example, Daniela, she gave me a list, like on everything, and how the system works here. It helped me a lot, like, so I was ready for whatever, like was gonna come my way. So, and also I also had friends, that made it easier. But it gets easier. At the beginning, it's a bit confusing, but then it gets easier. Yeah. And what was the second question?
It was generally how you're finding life, of course, living there, learning a new language, and how you're having to adapt, essentially.
Yes. Is, as I said, it's life just gets easier as time goes by. You see, learning a language, I think, the best way to learn a language is if you have friends, who speak that language. And also, you have to join some classes, like, for example, like there are some classes in the in a uni that offers, like that they want to teach you Georgian language. But the best way, to learn the language is to have a group, like a friend, that speak that language. And, as the time goes by, it just, you see that, you start understanding, and then, you see yourself that you start applying, but yeah, it just gets easier. You will know, the first few words easily, like, thank you, how are you, you're welcome, hello, things like that, you will know within a week. But then after that, this is how you start, you start talking to people, like friends, join classes, and then things, it just gets easier. Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that.
No problem.
So, another question that we are being asked quite a lot, actually. A lot of students are quite interested in Bulgaria. Is there any places available for medicine at Varna in Bulgaria now? Great question. Now, we'd like to give you some insights for this year. A lot changed with applications in the sense that all the universities in Europe, they all have deadlines. Now, deadlines in Europe means application needs to be completed, going through all the legalization process, from the translation of the document, equivalation, to get in the Ministry of Education. Everything must be done by the deadline. Now, by the end of June, Varna stopped taking applications. Why? Because they were completely full and up to capacity with the number of applicants that they could actually manage. So they spoke with us and they said, we're not taking any more students. And this is, of course, one of the reasons why we always advise apply early, because it does put you at a very good opportunity to actually get into the school on time, because we can get the application sorted. You can also start preparing for the entrance test. And we understand a lot of students wanted to see how they would do, but always applying early gives you another backup option in case grades don't go well for you, or in case you don't get into your chosen university. So whilst there might not be an opportunity for you to study at Varna this year, there might be other options for you in Bulgaria that we can look at. There are February options that we can look into for you. So get in touch. I know we've been saying that, but it's extremely busy here. But just send us a message. We will get back to you as soon as we can. We want everyone to be able to get the opportunity as well. Now, another question, what are the level grade boundaries to study dentistry in Europe? Now, it really depends. Every university has a requirement. Some universities are more interested in you doing very well in their entrance test. And so they look and focus more on how you do in the rankings. And some universities, they require A to C grades. Now, if you don't have A to C grades, we can still look at opportunities that can suit you in terms of where you can go. Some universities have an interview. Some universities have a point-based system where they look at the overall merits of your application. So this is where we come in. We have a conversation with you and understand what you're looking for, where you'd like to go, where you feel most comfortable going to. Because you can go to the right dental school, but if you're not happy in the environment, you won't be happy studying there. So we want to make sure those things go hand in hand so that you'll be comfortable. And then when you're there, your parents know that you're also being looked after. So in terms of grade requirements, really, it's dependent on the school and their requirements. Where you can go would determine on what you have. So we can have a chat and see. Some, as I mentioned, some universities just have an entrance exam, which will prepare you for as well. Another question that's been asked quite a lot: why is 6 years and not 5 years, as in the UK? Now, I'm assuming you're asking about medicine. Now, medicine in the UK is 5 years, which you then complete as an MBBS or MBCH. Now, 5 years is a bachelor's equivalence degree. Now, in Europe, 6 years is MD, which is a Doctor of Medicine degree. Now, Doctor of Medicine is seen as a master's equivalence degree. The difference, well, when you graduate as a medical doctor in the UK, you end up going into your foundations year 1 and 2. Now, when you graduate in certain countries in Europe, for 6 years, you're able to come to the UK and qualify for foundation year 2. So essentially, that extra year that you do is an equivalent to a foundation year, because you'll be based out in the hospitals doing all your specialties as a junior doctor, essentially, but you'll still be a student. So in essence, you actually gain more studying in Europe than most places. All right. Now, do all the universities teach in English? Absolutely. We work with all the English taught programs that you can think of in Europe. So if you don't see a university on our website, then it means that we may have researched the university, or they don't have the full course taught in English. But we have done extensive research. We spent the last 10 years researching and working with a lot of English taught programs. Now, of course, in Europe, some of the universities, or most of them, teach the local language. But of course, they will help you and guide you. The day-to-day activity will be in English. And of course, you will do have some language lessons as well. Now, another question is, can you apply just with GCSEs as my A-level results were U grades? Or do you need high grades for A-levels? I want to bring my colleague, Tom, to help with this. We have been seeing very, very different grades. And unfortunately, a lot of these students very upset. You guys couldn't get the grades that you wanted. But it's not all lost. I'll let my colleague touch upon this. Tom?
Yeah, thank you. Grades, it's a really interesting topic of conversation for studying abroad. When it comes to grade requirements, it's always more important in your own native country, your grades, compared to how it is in the international courses. Now, the reason for this is, imagine an international university. They take students from all over the world. And all these different countries have all different styles of exams at their high school level. Some of them, the majority of students will get 90% and over in their country. And others, they may only get 50%. It may be very difficult. Obviously, this year, for a great example with the UK, is the A-level results. Everything's been so difficult this year for all of the students. It's been a real struggle. But in other countries, they've had some of their best results that they've ever had this year. And so as an international university, how do you distinguish between what is a very bright student and what is a student that may not be able to study medicine? Well, for them, the easier way is for them to test you themselves. So what they often do is they have their own entrance tests or their own interviews. And using these platforms, they can assess everyone on the same even keel. So instead of having, for example, an A-level student with a C grade may be academically brighter and have worked harder and have more knowledge in, let's say, biology, for example, than someone from another country who has an A grade. And so doing these entrance tests, they can actually see reliably which students can perform higher and which can't. And in doing that, they're able to establish which students are eligible for their course. And because of that, you don't have to worry so much about the grade requirements. Yes, some of them in Europe, they know a lot more with specific grades, and they do have requirements. I'm not saying all of them just accept anything. Of course, they do have their sort of bottom line, but they are very, very flexible with it, because for them, a good doctor is someone who is committed to the subject, someone who is fascinated with medicine, obsessed with helping people, can have, you know, really good social skills and patient contact, and provide empathy. There are so many more factors that these universities can consider, apart from some tests that you've just done, you know, as a teenager. You've got your whole life ahead of you. We're going to be helping you every step of the way with it. So yeah, grade boundaries. Yes, some schools have them. However, it is something that we can look, so we can have a conversation with you. We can find out which schools you're interested in, what your budget is, where you're looking to go, and then we can look at the schools that match the grades that you've received. So we're always going to be able to find something suitable for you. Thanks, Edmund.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tom. So let's move on to the next question. What's the difference? What's the experience of being a person of color and a woman in these countries? And I think this will be a question that I would like to ask a few of our students, actually, well, graduates. I'd like to ask Dr. Jemima, who of course studied in the Caribbean, and what it's like to be a person of color as a woman in the Caribbean. Dr. Jemima, are you still with us?
Yes, please. In the Caribbean, we're all black over there. Like, most of us are black, and so I've never encountered any racial discrimination over there. So yeah, I've never experienced something like that. So I've never seen myself as a woman in color. I just see myself as a human being, if you know what I mean. So I don't know if I'm answering the question right. So yeah.
You are. Yes, you are. Thank you. What was your expectation going out there? One of the main concerns for our students as well. We have students that might be nervous about going out there because they're an ethnic minority, so they're worried about what their expectations might be going out there. What was it like?
For me, I was scared, to be honest. But when I got there, they actually welcomed me, to be honest. They love foreigners. They get excited to see someone else in their country. They want to know more about where you're coming from. So they actually respect tourists. So to me, I didn't have any issues with the locals that lives there. And where I was living, my landlord was really good to me, and the people in the street were really, really awesome as well. So I never experienced any difficulties living in the Caribbean or having issues with being black, if you know what I mean. So to me, going down there, you need to be open-minded and try to be positive. Yeah, that's it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I know this is very reassuring to our students, and then also anyone else that's watching it. Now, I want to ask this question because it's a main big concern for a lot of our students. So I'd like to invite Zahra, who's studying at University of Novi Sad. How is it for you as a brown student who's studying there? What was your expectation before, and then how was it for you when you got there?
So when I first heard about Serbia, I was honestly not really expecting the best, just because of the history of it, and all the things that you hear online and hearing things in London, in the UK and stuff. But then when I got here, it was more diverse than I thought it was, which gave me kind of comfort, and there was a lot of women in my class, so I did discuss with them. I was like, oh, how's it like being, because most of my university colleagues are Serbian, like most of them are Serbian. So I asked them, like, do you feel safe at night? And they were like, yeah, it's it's fine, you can go out as late as you want, and you can come back and they don't really bother you. So that, taking that into account, and obviously being a person of color, I tried to see how it was for myself, and it's true, it's not that deep. People do mind their own business here, which is a good thing. And yeah, I don't really feel in danger, apart from when it's really, really late at night and I know I should be home. But aside from that, that's my own fault. But aside from that, I would say that Serbia is quite safe. You never really hear anything in the university group chats about anything happening at night or happening to women. But yeah, I would say overall it's pretty safe. It's pretty, if for a woman it's fine, because usually the men don't really bother you here, unless you're Serbian, from what I hear, because I never really get bothered. But if you're Serbian, a Serbian girl, you probably would, but not if you're a person of color or anything like that, from my experience.
Yeah, thank you. And I think thank you so much. Safety is interpreted differently for everyone. That could be, I'm a student studying, I'm in the library, it's getting dark, do I need to go home? And this can mean so many different things to students. So we really are committed to finding areas that are really safe. Like you saw in the video at the beginning, Georgia is one of the safest countries in the world. And we have to make sure that when you go there, you are confident, knowing that, hey, you're going to a very safe place, that you don't have to worry about contacting your parents because you need something urgently, and you feel uncomfortable in the environment, because we want you to be comfortable and happy doing the course that you love. I think I will ask this question one more time to our students. Majid, what is it like to study in Georgia as a brown student? And also, what is the dynamic like, and how diverse is it for you at the school that you're in?
What it's like to study in TMA? Is that your question?
As a brown student or an ethnic minority?
As a brown student. Now, you see, I'm not the only brown student here. There are so many others. So I see myself I don't even see myself. I don't think once I'm here, my aim is to study, and I don't think anyone. I mean, people do notice, of course, my skin color, but my aim is to be more follow the rules, follow the law, and everything will be fine. Of course, there are people who won't like the way I look, or maybe the way I smile, or maybe my skin color. There is always people like that. But I think the best thing is just ignore, just walk, and and just go to uni, come back home, go to library, just do your business, and everything else will be fine. That's how I see it. And I mean, racism here so far, I've been here for some time and I haven't had any, to be honest. People here are just minding their own business, they're going to work, they have their own problems. They've got family, you see kids running around, you see, different countries, people from Russia, people from India, people from, you see, there's so many different, people here, from different backgrounds. So in Tbilisi by itself, what I'm saying, I think, there is not the issue of, there might be, but the percentage is too low, and so far I haven't, witnessed anything like that. That's how I see it. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Thank you so much, Majid.
No problem.
All right. So the next question that's been asked quite a lot is, are there any sample exams from the university, so we may get an idea what kind of examination they conduct? Great question. I'll let my colleague Dana tell you a bit more about how we prepare our students when there is an entrance test. Dana?
Very good question, by the way. So because we've been doing this for years with the universities, in every university, we know each university, what they require for their exam, or what topics they usually focus on. So based on each university and each country, our experts who specialize in this university, they have created our own material that we give that's exclusive for our students, that gives you advantage over other applicants. And this material is designed in a way that covers all the topics that you might be asked about, that helps you not just pass this exam with flying colors, but ace it. So if you put the effort in the entrance exam and study the material we give you, you should be doing great with the exam. You shouldn't worry about it, because we've seen a lot of students take these material and do exams and they've done great. So it's A-level material. It's the content you've learned at high school. It's not something new. It's just like revision for you. All it requires is some effort from you to cover the material, go over it, and it requires a few weeks, let's say. A lot of students tell me, oh, I'm gonna defer to next year because I wanna take my time to study for the exam, but then I tell them a month, a few weeks, depends on each student, of course, how much time you put into it. Some students study an hour a day, some students study 2 hours, some students don't study every day. So it depends on you as a person, but you need to be confident with the A-level material you've done or the high school material that you've studied. With the material we give you, you should be passing this exam with flying colors, and it will be including questions, sample questions, some topics, some mock exams, for example. It's quite enough for you to ace this exam. So don't worry about the entrance exams. We are here for you because our priority is to get you in, and we go above and beyond. We do everything throughout the process to help you get into the university. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, thank you. I used to have instances where a student would call me every day because they were worried about the test, and they said, this is my last chance. And then, we reassure every student to make sure that they are, calm, they understand what they're expecting. And of course, although we give you all the materials, some encouragement is also needed sometimes. All right. So what is the next question? Right. So the next question is this shortage of doctors the same for dentists? Great question. I'll let my colleague Tom jump in and share some light on this. Tom, are you with us?
Yes, absolutely. So this is something that we find quite ironic with medicine and dentistry, is that the spaces are so hard to get into the UK, and yet they need so many. Yes, of course, we've seen the statistics today for medicine, but the stats are very similar for dentistry. Just to put it very, very frankly with you, you've probably all seen how long it takes to get an appointment, especially through the NHS for dentistry. It's really not the easiest thing. There are many private dental clinics as well that are swamped in the UK. It is something that there is a huge need for, and you are going to be filling a gap in that market, and you're going to be really helping people. Not only that, but it's not just the UK that needs it. If you're a bit more of an adventurous person and you want to work in other places, the beauty of a European degree is the vastness of its recognition. Or let's say one beauty of the degree, as you've seen today, there's a lot of benefits. But one thing is how vast it is. We actually had a dentist on who studied with one of our universities last year. He was on one of our webinars. You could probably find it on our YouTube channel. And he has registered in 4 different countries. He has official registration as a dentist in 4 different countries after getting one of these dental qualifications in Europe. It was almost like a challenge for him and his friends to register at these different places. He's now got his own clinics, and then there's so much that he's achieving, which is just fantastic to see. For us to see someone go from once upon a time very nervous about going abroad to now he's registered in his home country, in the UK, Ireland, a couple of other European countries where he's learnt the languages. It's amazing. So yeah, there is a real need for dentists just as much as there is for doctors in a lot of countries, including the UK. And there still will be in 5 or 6 years' time when you graduate. Trust me, people are always going to need help with their teeth. People are always going to need to have their lives changed in this way and have these procedures done that are just going to change everything so dramatically for them for the better. And they are just waiting for you to be that person. Thank you, Edmund.
Thank you so much, Tom. All right. So the next question is, do British European medical graduates need to do PLAB for UK foundation training? Fantastic question. Of course, the graduates were talking about PLAB earlier. Now, PLAB is currently a test that you do when you study outside the European Union. And as of next year, the General Medical Council will be introducing a new test, which is UK MLA, which stands for Medical License Assessment. Now, the difference is that this time they will include everyone, whether you studied medicine in the UK, whether you studied in the EU or outside the EU. Everyone will be required to sit this. And the reason for this is to create a common threshold for safe practice. So essentially, the GMC want everyone to have the same opportunity and demonstrate their competencies and general knowledge as a doctor. So this is going to be based on a two-part licensing exam. The first part is the same as the PLAB, which is general knowledge test. And so it's going to be a multiple choice question test. And then the second part is the practical, so scenario based. So you go through different stations, you answer the questions, you demonstrate your skills. Now for the European graduates, your degree will be preparing you for this. So you don't need to come home and then start to have a crash course. You will have all the preparation that's needed to actually be able to sit this exam. And then once you do graduate, finish the exam, you'll be able to qualify for your license registration and do the foundation year. So depending on the pathway you went to, if you studied in different countries, you're able to come back and then go to either the foundation year 1 or the foundation year 2. But equally, once you have your license, you're able to start working just like the graduates that you've seen tonight. What's the next question? All right. So, okay. So how many spaces are available for Poland and Serbia for UK candidates? This is a question that I will ask my colleague Dana to shed some light on this, because just know that the seats are limited already. But I want Dana to shed some light on why it's important for you to take advantage of the opportunities now than wait for the limited number of seats. Dana?
Another great question. So international students have limited number of seats in Europe, which is now well known by everyone. Everyone understands how the process works in Europe, and you're here to learn more about it. So the seats are very limited, and the number of students that are speaking to us are massively high. We are working day and night. I'm sure my other advisors, my colleagues can agree on that. From morning till night, we're answering as many questions as we can. We're having as many calls as possible, because a lot of students are taking advantage of this opportunity, especially with the predicted grades not matching the achieved grades at the moment. So the spaces are very limited. We're expecting to fill up very soon. So now is the opportunity for you to grab this advantage and this opportunity in Europe and start your journey to achieve your dream. We don't know what's happening next year. Europe's changing. Europe's becoming very competitive. It's a lot of students are applying there, not just from the UK, from many other countries. Europe has become the main destination for students who are coming to study abroad. So now's your opportunity. Apply now. We don't know what's going to happen. Maybe requirements will get higher. So let's get on a call. Let's grab this opportunity. Let's book you a seat and have you start now. And again, the spots are very, very limited, and the numbers of students are applying are very high. So you need to apply now.
Yes. The answer is yes, resounding yes. If you are considering applying this year, we would advise that you get in touch with us as soon as possible. Take advantage of it. The opportunity is out there. Yes, of course, yesterday, what has happened has happened. Nothing can be controlled. You did your absolute best, and of course, it didn't work out. Now, the opportunity is there for you. And so let's have a conversation. Perhaps there might be an opportunity for you in the winter, but take the step. You've already done the hard work by joining us tonight and spending some time with us. There's been so many questions that are still coming in. And as Tom and Dana were saying, we're happy to have a conversation with you guys. It's extremely busy, but we want to give everyone the opportunity to answer the questions and go through every opportunities that are out there for you. So sad to say that we've come to the end of the webinar. Would love to say and answer all the questions, but I'd like to say a big congratulations to all the future medical and dental students who joined us tonight. And we hope this webinar is giving you an important way of, or ideas of inspiring you to pursue your dream, so becoming doctors and dentists. But before we finish up, I really want to say a heartfelt thanks to all the students and the parents that have joined. We really appreciate you being part of this. And for the parents, your support and your belief in your children really mean a lot. You've helped shape their dreams, and your trust in them is really amazing. By being here, you're really showing your commitment to their education and their future success. And your love and dedication are really super important, and it will keep inspiring them as they take the next steps to study abroad. And for you guys, the students, your excitement, your curiosity, your questions, these are all awesome. And it's brave to have big dreams and want to study abroad, right? By joining this webinar, we hope that you're taking an important step towards your dream. And remember, challenges and opportunities will come your way. And your hard work and passion will help you do great things. You saw the graduates that are now working, right? Studying abroad is just one way of just learning. It's an adventure that changes you in amazing ways. And it might feel scary, but stepping out of your comfort zone is where great things happen, right? You'll face tough times. You'll learn from experiences. You'll grow strong inside. And also studying abroad lets you see cool new things. You learn about cool ways of doing healthcare. You'll meet people from different places. You'll get skills that will make you a better healthcare person. And it's not just about a degree. It's about growing as a person and joining a worldwide community and a family of people that care about health. So take that leap, believe in yourself, go after your dreams. You have the power to make your world a better place through your work. And remember, the journey might be tough, it might be difficult. You will find greatness really outside of your comfort zone. And keep learning and keep making a difference. And so parents, students, everyone, this is just the beginning. Thank you for being part of this journey with all of us. Your path ahead really is bright and full of awesome moments. So we really can't wait to meet you guys out there in Europe or even in the Caribbean, because the world needs you and you've got what it takes. You just need to take that step. So to connect with us, go ahead, scan the QR code or click the link below for your participation certificates. Just scan the one on the right. We're really excited to help you on your journey into studying abroad. Have a great weekend, have a great evening, and then we'll catch you on the next one. Thank you, everyone.